Welcome back to another episode of Deca Debrief. My name is Sam, and we have our lovely co-hosts here.
I am Charziken.
I am. I'm in rough cool.
All right, we have a Patreon. Special thanks to everyone who's donated on our Patreon so far for helping to keep our show alive. We have our sponsors. We have Lost Boys, Realm Slayers, A Trapper's Ideas Discord, Lost Halls Hideout, LHC, and Sentry Cleanup Crew. This server is dedicated to running down sentries and telling you where they are so you don't have to find them. Make sure you head on over for those white bags. Special thanks to SLVR DLLR for shouting out our episodes. Now that our plugs are out of the way, let's dive into our episode. Last weekend, we had another event with O2 and a dual event with the Davies and the Mad Lab. Personally, I didn't run it at all, but what about you guys?
I ran both. Kind of drop rates seemed standard. I didn't really see anything of much significance in there. Apparently, the Davies chest had a really high Soulbound Life drop rate, which was an interesting choice, I guess. But I got a few white bags from the Mad Lab, but apparently the only ST item in its chest was the Horrific Claws of everything. That was the only one. Not even the other one that dropped in the Mad Lab.
Jeez. What about you, Ruffy?
I didn't run the event at all, honestly. I haven't touched Realm this past week.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's a bad game. What do you expect?
It's a dying game. That's what I expect.
Yeah, you're right.
So we had an event this last weekend as well. Another O2 event, crappy as usual, and a Mountain Temple event.
I myself ran the Mountain Temple, and apparently it was a lot better than the Davies and Mad Lab. This one, the chest had all 4 of the ST items as well as Kagaboshi. So that was a bonus. I sadly did not get the Kagaboshi. I am looking for that to check it off the white bag list. But I did get the reused blade, the Wakizashi, and the Kamishima, the armor, on my night. Other than that, again, just kind of standard event. Go kill the boss, get the chest. I mean, it's just grind, rinse, repeat.
I heard that the Mountain Temple event was actually pretty good, but I didn't get a chance to run it either.
I always pop the keys on usually the Friday nights for my stream. Not trying to plug, but that's honestly just what I do. I pop them. It's what I've done for the past few months now.
So the point of this episode is to really get to know our new co-host here, aka Get Out Ref. No, just kidding. So I know you're a big streamer. How did that happen? How did that start up?
Well, actually, the one person who actually inspired me was actually the guy who I tweeted out the SoundCloud to. He actually asked me to. His name was Original 151, and I watched him for maybe like 6 months before, thinking, this seems like a fun thing. I should try it. So I started out on YouTube, and I did have a lot of fun, met a lot of cool friends there, some of which I still obviously talk to, even though now I've made the move over to Twitch. And then, yeah, it's hard to explain, like, what else has happened, because it's just nothing too special. Back, I want to say in February, so I was streaming another MMO with a few guys for a few months, but then back in February, one of them sadly passed away in a car crash. So that was probably, I guess, in answering one of the questions, the strangest thing, maybe not the strangest thing, but the saddest thing was that one of my streaming friends passed away. But yeah, it's really all that is on streaming. I just kind of got inspiration and started it up.
Wow.
Sorry to bring the mood down.
No, not at all. Very awing. So how did you first get into Realm?
Wow, that's... Holy crap, that probably happened a long time ago. I want to say 6th grade. And this was back before the game had its like outline, how it has the little black outline around every sprite. So it looked very bare bones. It did not look good. This was also before armors were a thing. There were 2 rings. And I'm like, what the hell is this game? And I remember in my middle school, I remember every day in lunch going to one of my teacher's computers because he did technology and video class for 8th grade. So I went in there because he was also one of my teachers for some other subject. I think it was a robotics class. And so I went in there and I just played on the computer. I played Realm on the browser on his computer. And
Browser.
It was definitely an interesting experience. And then I remember when I actually created my account and actually gave it the name Charziken, and that actually, yesterday, the 23rd, was my account's 7th anniversary.
Congratulations. Oh my goodness. I'm not really sure how much that merits a congratulations, seeing how this is Realm, but
Yeah, I know.
congratulations
I was gonna
nonetheless.
say, like, does that? I think that warrants a more "I'm sorry" than.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I opened up the wrong can of worms there.
But no. And it's just stuck with me because it is as kind of down the drain as it seems to have gone. I don't want to. Well, I don't want to say that it's actually gone down the drain, but it has kind of had its rough patches. It's still stuck with me. It is a very unique game. I have yet to find anything like truly like it. Things have come similar, but nothing actually quite matches the uniqueness and just fun that Realm has provided over these few years.
So would you say that you really like how Realm has been shaping out throughout the years, how it's changed, even though every single little thing is marked with a lot of controversy, you like the overall path at which it's going down?
That's a hard question to answer, honestly.
It's a loaded one.
It really is. Obviously, as being one of the more, I guess you can call me a veteran player just for how long I've been around, I do have the nostalgia and I do wish that it was like it was before Pets.
Ooh, you're one of the teams.
I think Deca is doing their best to provide content that still provides the challenge and fun and replayability, even though we've have these pets that literally give us an HP pot every second. But yeah, like I said, they're trying to do their best. A lot of dungeons do have pet stasis shots as
yeah.
one way to counteract it. What I would like to see is a dungeon that just outright removes a pet or gives permanent pet stasis. Like, it's not like a liquid, but you just have pet stasis from being in there. That's what I'd like to see, because that will give us the actual kind of, I guess, as close as you can get the feel to what Realm used to be.
That
Other
old
than
player
getting rid
experience.
of life and mana max. That
Yeah.
was interesting, being 6 out of 6.
So, in terms of Deca providing more content as to make Realm more interesting and fun again with all the pets now, what do you think would be best for them to add, personally, in your opinion?
That, again, that's another bit of a loaded question. It's really hard to say. Again, it's like I said, I'd like to see that kind of dungeon with permanent pet
yeah.
stasis. But if you're gonna keep the pet route, I mean, it is really hard too, because with the pets, not every player has a divine pet. Some players have a maxed rare, some maxed legendary, some even just a common. Some players literally just refuse to play with the pet. Not just as an MPE, but some players literally I've seen just flat out refuse to even hatch eggs. I've only ran into a couple of them, but still. So in terms of content that I'd like to see, I'd really like to see some more reworks of dungeons. I would like to see more end game and mid game content at this point, and even early game, because I feel early game is still a little lacking. Because like you have the pirate cave, the forest maze, the hive, and hive is actually kind of getting closer to mid game,
Ooh.
even though it doesn't really drop much in terms of genuine mid game gear. But yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more early game, because early game is very, very slow.
When you were talking about dungeons being reworked, what kind of dungeons are you thinking of?
Well, obviously they do have the nest coming back as a rework with the
Oh, heck yeah.
HP scaling. One thing that I would like to see reworked again is the shatters, because I feel that the HP
Heck
scaling
yes.
is a bit too strong. The HP scaling is too strong, and the loot distribution. The loot distribution is still absolutely abysmal. The dungeon is not worth it. The
Someone
time
said
to
it.
loot ratio is not worth it.
Yes! Yes, this is what we need! Deca, listen! Yes!
I don't care if you can run through a shatters in 10 minutes with a good group. I don't want to spend 10 minutes getting 0-3, or in the case of events, 0-4. Which that
Yes.
happened during the last shatters event.
It was absolutely
when
terrible.
I ran 180 shatters. I got 0 out of 4 for over half of them.
Holy moly.
I didn't get a single shatter swipe, and I was so sad.
Deca, you know what to do.
But I think the one enemy that I am thinking of specifically is the Twilight Archmage. The Bridge Sentinel and the King, you can do those, but the Twilight Archmage, like, I was in, I think it was a 3-man group with a Wizard, a Paladin, and I was on my Warrior. And we just didn't, we had to push it in a Rage phase. I don't know why, I don't know how our
Whoa.
DPS was so abysmal, because I was on my 8/8 Warrior. I had the B Helm, so I occasionally got a curse off on it. Paladin, I didn't really see, but I'm assuming he was giving the damaging buff. And then the Wizard, I'd assume he at least had old tops, but I don't know. Either they didn't know how to do shatters, or I was too tired and I wasn't really buffing. I was just like pressing spacebar, but not noticing the berserk above my head.
Oh my goodness.
Like I said, HP scaling I would like to see to get a rework again in the shatters, kind of make it less potent, I guess is the right word. And then obviously loot distribution.
Yeah. Agreed. So next section is guest questions, where people from our Discord are pinged and they are allowed to ask any question they want to our guest. In this case, we have quite a number of interesting questions for our new co-host here, Charziken. The first being the classic, the OG, the original of Deca Debrief podcasts. Charziken,
Yes.
are you gay?
I am not gay in any way, shape, or form. I am straight as a board. However, I obviously do not bash on anyone who is gay. I have a lot of friends who are, and I am in a community that is full of people who are.
So what if the board is wavy?
What do you mean by that?
You said you're as straight as a board. What if the board's kind of wavy, you know? It's a little curve.
Well, this board doesn't really have any curves on it. It's a nice steel beam that isn't being melted by any jet fuel. Was that bad?
Okay.
Can we put that in?
Yes, we can.
What is your favorite dungeon?
My favorite dungeon would have to be Shatters. Even though the loot distribution is horrible, it holds nostalgia in my heart for being the first player created dungeon to get into the game. I remember seeing the post on the Wild Shadow forums, and then Kabam eventually adding it in. And so, for nostalgia purposes and for, how good the actual white bags are, it has to be my favorite dungeon.
Next question is posed to all of us. What is your favorite court dungeon?
I think I would have to say it's the Puppet Master's Encore. The fight is just very engaging, I feel, because you do have a lot of pet stasis shots, so that does create a bit more of danger, considering the Huntress does a 150 armor piercing shot. Then the Puppet of Chaos is chaotic and will insta-pop you. Red guy's on his period. He's bleeding all over the place.
Yeah. Yes. What about you, Refi?
I like the Nigerian Reef just because of its level of difficulty and how it kind of scales against pets, meaning that the shots do a lot of damage, and it's difficult to stay alive in that dungeon unless you properly avoid shots, because sick exists in this dungeon, and there's also water, so drowning also exists. Positioning is extremely important in a Nigerian Reef, and that's what I enjoy in a dungeon, besides having to actually dodge.
Yeah, honestly, I feel better that you said the Nigerian Reef, because I know it's kind of a controversial court dungeon, seeing how it's not as much moving around when it comes to a big group. But personally, I really like it because, again, like when you do it in a smaller group or a solo or anything like that, you do have to move around. And honestly, I just really love the sprites for it. I am so affected by the sprites I see, and whenever I go into a Nigerian Reef, I really just love the overall aesthetic that I see from it. This is also to all of us. What is your first white bag and your first event white?
My first white bag, at least on this account, was actually a wine cellar incantation back when they dropped in white bags.
Oh.
But then, excuse me, then my second white bag from the same dungeon, not at the same time obviously, was a Doombow. So I got seriously trolled way back then. I thought I got a Doombow, got an ink. But then I think the next day I got a Doombow. So I don't know which one to technically consider my first white bag. Ink was the first white bag, but Doombow was the first one that actually kept its white bag status. But my first event white was actually back to back. It was a Durka Coronis backed by a jug.
What on
I remember how it happened too. I died on an assassin. I take a rogue, go to a cube god, get a dirk. I'm freaking out. Hermit spawns. Go to the hermit, get a jug, and I'm just like, excuse me?
Oh my goodness. What
And
are
then it
the
took me
odds?
5 years to get another event white.
Okay, that's a little fair.
Give me the dirk.
I don't have it. It died.
Give me the dirk.
It died.
I know you have it.
I don't. I want another one. It died on a 2-8 rogue because that was back during duping.
Whoops.
Dirk was useless or worthless back then.
Ref called you.
Oh yeah, my first this question actually lines up perfectly because my first white bag was a Quiver of Thunder.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
yeah, that one's
whoa.
pretty straightforward. There was a time when I had a friend teaching me Roam the Mad God, which I'll probably get into that story another time. But I was taught what an Ent God was, and I asked, "Hey, does this guy drop a white bag?" And she's like, "Yeah, why?" And I'm like, "I got it." And she's like, "Whoa, that's super rare. That's an event white." And I'm like, "What's an event white?"
Oof.
That's
Just the
that's how you
feeling
remember
of
Thunder.
her just being like, that could have been me. That could have been me.
My first white bag was actually an ASS, an Ancient Stone Sword, because when I first started playing Realm, I never went into any dungeons and I never went into Godlands. It was just, I was always on the beach, and then, I would just chill out there because I was super bad. And eventually, I'd be teleported to Oryx, I'd follow group, and, I'd make it to the Stone Guardians, and pew pew, bam, ASS. As to my first event white, God, I hate this, but, my first event white was an Ogmer, but from the ice caves, so not really.
Have you gotten any event white from the actual event since then at all?
Nope, none. Still no event
unfortunate.
whites.
There is one white that I do hold a very dear memory to as well, and it's not like a realm event white, but I did get it from an event, so to speak. It was an Anatistaff. I still have it to this day.
Oh.
And I remember getting it because we get teleported to Oryx. The chicken's there. I don't get anything for the first one, but Wild Shadow developer Ched is in there. He spawns a second chicken, and I get the Anatistaff. That Anatistaff is still sitting in my vault, over 6 years old.
Wow. Incredible. All right, Charziken, how do you feel about your very new, important, extremely special job as a co-host of this here podcast?
Shit.
I am very excited to be a part of a new team, definitely. I do love working with new people, and I feel that I work well with other people. And just, I guess to sum it up in one word, is just excited.
That's what I like to hear. Why is life worth living?
Why must you ask these questions, people? I don't know.
Oh. Need a hug?
Maybe.
Here. Here's a hug.
Hugging my
Oh my
computer
goodness.
screen.
I know, I'm like hugging my mic right now. Are you okay?
No, I guess to be a more like serious answer, just it's there to do with it as you want to do with it, essentially.
Heck yeah. All right, next question. Just how bad is Nigel?
I might have to suicide one of my characters to prove a point there.
Shit.
Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. As a regular streamer, what is the strangest thing that has ever happened to you?
Oh boy, that one. I remember I was streaming the game, and one of my guildies from another game comes in and starts spamming the hell out of me about the fact that I'm a
Oh.
furry and they want me out of the guild.
Oh?
I ban him, comes back with another account. Ban
Oh.
that account, comes back with another. This repeats about 5 more times. This dude creates like 7 or 8 Twitch accounts just to spam me.
As a furry, what is the strangest thing that has ever happened to you?
I'm trying to think, because I've gone to a couple conventions, but I don't think anything super strange happened there. I recall one of the funniest things, but I probably can't really say it for the podcast because it's completely inappropriate.
Well, this is going to be marked as explicit, so go ahead.
We were doing a Whose Line Is It Anyway? And the host was drunk as shit. And he ran a podcast as well, and that was his whole character. And so he's like, all right, guys, name's Alkali. First off, I'm drunk as hell right now. Wait, can I say that? Is this the adult panel? It is? And then immediately screams the C word because he realized it was the adult panel.
Oh my goodness.
Otherwise, a strange place for this to happen. I was at the rave at that convention that my buddy was DJing for. Saw a couple people get engaged.
Oh,
People
whoa.
proposing at a rave. That's probably an interesting place to propose.
It's beautiful.
Whoa. Just out of curiosity, what exactly happens at a furry convention?
A lot of different things. There are a lot of different panels for everything. Like I said, there was the panel for Whose Line Is It Anyway? There was a video game room. There was the fursuit parade. Let me think what else there was. From like midnight to 9 in the morning, they were playing movies in one of the rooms. There was actually a live streaming panel that I was a part of, so that was interesting. And they just have all sorts of panels, informative panels about different aspects, whether like performing in your fursuit or making a fursuit. You don't have a fursuit. What else can you do? Things like tips on art and everything. So, literally, kind of what my friend told me at the one. I visited a high school friend at one back in April, and I hadn't seen him since graduation. And he told me, the furry fandom is about whatever the fuck you want it to be about. Anything. You want it to be about drinking with friends? Find people with the same mindset. Want it to be about gaming? Find people with the same mindset. So the conventions are about you, what you want it to be about.
That has a lot of creative license, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, the furry fandom was founded on art. It was founded upon art, the concept of art.
Interesting. Alrighty. As a white male, what is the strangest thing that has ever happened to you? Again, these are guest questions.
Getting my iPod stolen in the bathroom. This was a long time ago, back when I was, 7th or 8th grade. One of my friends, she invites me to her birthday dinner, so we go to a place called the Melting Pot, which is a fondue place. I'm in the bathroom.
yeah.
3 kids come in, steal my iPod Touch back when they were like actually like the in thing. They reach their hand into my front pocket while I'm going to the bathroom and take it out. They dart off. The police catch them. I get my iPod back, and we get the entire meal comped, plus dessert.
Ooh, nice.
And so I'm like, that's my birthday gift to you, free dinner.
Melting pot is good. I love melting pot. Alright.
I haven't been there since because it's just so expensive.
True. I've only been there once. Best experience in Realm?
Probably that double event white. The back-to-back event whites.
Understandably so.
Otherwise, getting the Ogmer on my night PPE during that chest event. Because I didn't even go in there for the Ogmer. I went in there for tops, and I came out with an Ogmer. To this day, I still carry that tier 3 sword on me. That knight carries the tier 3 sword, and it has gotten
That's
me
OP.
20 Dokus and a void bow.
What?
I used a Doku the entire void fight and got a void bow.
Whoa.
It also got me, I use it for all event chests, so it's gotten me the Pixie from that 102 chest event where it dropped the ST boxes, ST chests. It's gotten me the Pixie, it's gotten me a D-Blade, the Void Bow, the Ogmer, the Kamishimo,
goodness.
the Exa HP.
Oh my goodness.
It's gotten me literally, like, it got me the Shield of Flowing Clarity from the C-Depths event. It's gotten me
my
everything my
goodness.
knight is wearing, I'm not joking, was obtained with that tier 3 sword.
Holy moly.
And I actually have a little letter opener that I got from my military school. It's like a little sword. It literally looks like the tier 3 sword. It has the golden hilt and then the silver blade. I have a real life tier 3 sword.
Oh my gosh. Do you like Roblox?
Never played it, so I have no opinion on it whatsoever.
Alrighty. Where do you think Realm will be in 5 years?
Dead.
Got him.
And if it's not dead, hopefully still on Unity or even a better kind of game engine. If it truly does outlive or just live to be a great MMO, which it is, it truly is. And if it does live long enough, I hope to see it on continue Unity or, like I said, a better engine with a strong player base. Not the same content, but like continuing to create content. Or even, like, in a brand new art style. I know people have fallen in love with the art style of Realm, but if they're going to further the game, they might eventually have to switch it up. I mean, sure, you could keep the whole fighting style and everything, but it might have to be a different art style and a different perspective. I don't know. In order to keep it running, there will have to be changes eventually.
As a citizen of the planet Earth, what is the strangest thing that has ever happened to you?
I think just living is the strangest thing.
Whoa.
I'll second you on that.
Philosophical.
Not philosophical, just plain literal.
No, we Socrates up in here now.
Oh man. As a guest, what is the strangest thing that has happened to you?
I don't really know because this is the first time I've been a guest.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not really a guest at the same time. I'm a co-host. I guess same thing as being a citizen of planet Earth, just living.
Heck
Actually,
yeah.
no, getting accepted as a co-host is definitely the strangest thing.
Oh, how so?
I just didn't expect to actually get it.
I see. Well, it really do be like that sometimes.
For better or for worse.
This is posed to all of us again. Where will you be in 5 years?
I don't know. I hope to, if I follow the dream, if I get the dream, live streaming. That truly is my dream. Whether it be just other games or just stick to one game, like some people are World of Warcraft streamers, some people are Fortnite streamers. If I can just be a variety streamer for a living, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I'd hope to get into some field of the IT field. Of the IT field. That's great language there, Charziken. And then move out to New York to be with one of my high school buddies and his boyfriend.
I live in New York. Come over.
You live in New York?
Yeah.
I knew New York people were assholes. It all makes sense now.
I will fight you, Sir Refical.
I knew it. You see? I told you. She's picking fights.
What about you, Refical? Where will you be in 5 years?
I just go with the flow. So where I'll be, I don't know.
That's understandable.
Yeah, fair. Where will I be in 5 years? Well, currently I'm a senior. I'm applying to mainly music colleges and conservatories. So hopefully I will be still studying at that point. I think I still want to be studying for music for quite a while because my main interest is performing in an orchestra. And of course that could always change, but I'm very interested in the double bass and that has always been my track since 8th grade. So hopefully somewhere related with that.
I have always had a soft spot for orchestral music. I don't know why. Any music that involves any kind of orchestra or orchestra remixes, I just fall for.
Heck yeah, dude.
But my cousin is also, he's not a music major. I can't remember if he's going back to college now, but he has been big on jazz. And he does play in a little band, and they do get gigs and everything. And so he's big on the piano specifically for jazz.
Yeah, jazz is insane.
And I think he's written one jazz song, and I think I heard it. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But he's a couple years older than me. And I remember being over at his place when we were younger, seeing him practice, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah, jazz is incredible. It requires a very specific type of creativity and a certain know-how, and I tried to get into jazz and I know a little bit of the basics, but I could never get to the point where some people can just, straight improv off of a chord or chord progression or whatnot. It's actually insane.
You like jazz?
I'm not surprised that he said that.
All right, I gotta do this one. Sammy,
Yes.
are you lesbian?
No. I think that is very clearly evidenced by my obsession with Tower. Just the way I am.
I heard that.
I do not express interest in women. It's perfectly fine if you do. However, I am solely interested in men. Done, deal, over. Yes. All right, next question for all of us. What is your favorite ST set, and what should be the next class to get one be?
Oh, my favorite ST set, hands down, the Hollow King Necromancer. It turns the Necromancer into a powerhouse. And I know it kind of gets rid of its playstyle or its original intention of healing, but there's just something about being able to have 95 attack and a self-damaging buff that you just can't pass up. I am fortunate enough to have had the 2 Necro PPEs that I've done get the full set. But the next one, I'm looking for either a ninja or archer.
Ninja? Really?
It's got to come sometime, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless they just completely skip and every other class gets 2 ST sets.
They give one to assassin. They have to give one to ninja.
I'm actually just genuinely surprised that the samurai got an ST set before archer. Actually, no, surprised is not the right word. Disappointed is the right word.
Yeah, I think that fits better.
As interesting as the Akuma Slayer set is, I still would have loved to see some kind of descended angel archer. I don't know.
That would be... That is really good. Yes. Deca, you know what to do.
Maybe for that sky-themed dungeon.
Refko, what do you think?
I think they just need to, and I have one opinion on this, make the ST set for Wizard not be garbage. And that's pretty much it. There's only one piece that's good to it. The rest are just kind of there.
I mean, what are you talking about? Bracer's just a buffed Forgotten Ring.
Why do they even have Forgotten Ring in the game? It's weird.
Please, someone take this. I'll pay you a death if you take this ring.
I can't even give it away. No one wants it. I have to throw them away, and I feel bad.
Yeah, you can't drop them because I drop in pee bags.
Whoops.
Personally, my favorite set is the Swarming Huntress set. I don't know, something about it. When I see it around, I just want it so badly.
I mean, the Huntress just gets a big ass. I mean...
It's a thick girl, you know? You always want what you can't have, you know?
That hits too close to home.
Oh, God. I have the Nectar Crossfire and the Honey Tomb Snare, so I'm just looking for that apiary armor and the Honey Circlet. So, we'll see.
I need the Interregnum, the Parasitic Concoction, and Rags of the Host, and I'll have a living piece of every ST item.
Ooh. Ban this man. Now, this last question is for you. If you could take out one white bag, what would it be?
Wow. Shit. As much as I hate... I like, usually I have an absolute hatred for Mystic, the Mystic class, but I can't take out the orbs. I don't know why. I've just had a burning hatred for the class. I will never play it ever again. I 5-starred it. I'm never playing it again. Don't know why. Something about it I just don't like. But I'll have to double check the Ricky real quick. Hold on. I would want to say a Sullen Blade. I think I'd have to take out the Sullen Blade. Just it finds literally no use anywhere except chests, which you can get soulbound with a tier 0 staff, so that's not saying much. Because like with a lot of people argue that Void Blade has no use. You drag enemies into it, you pop them real quick. I genuinely think that Void Blade has much more use than Sullen Blade. I still call it the AFK, though, for Annoying Firecracker Katana.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, Refgold closing us up and saying the announcements.
Thank you to our patrons. We have Piccadell, Lodestar, Refical, Shaxasno, The Mothership, Charziken, 3Cube, Tom Food, Piggy, Adam Shogun, Surfy, MG Oryx, and Klingaris. Thank you so much for your donations. You keep this podcast going.
Alrighty, this show has been written, produced, and edited by Sam, Erica Starr, and the wonderful staff behind Deca Debrief. This episode was voiced by Sam, Refkel, and Charziken. We have an email, decadebrief@gmail.com. Email us if you have any burning inquiries or you want to get sponsored in any way. Just let us know. Send in an email. We want to give props to DJ Quad, who is our intro song and our outro song. And final props to Generic, who is our cover art currently. This has been Deca Debrief, and you can consider yourself debriefed. See you next time.
I didn't like it. Let's do it again.